Hello, my name is lAILA CONNER, and today I'm presenting the Sacred Space and Monument Research Project. My inspirational figure was John Lewis. He was born February 21st, 1940 in Troy, Alabama. He died July 17, 2020 in Atlanta, Georgia. He was known for being a civil rights activist, for his commitment to nonviolent protests, such as leading the Selma Walk March, and a civil rights advancement leader, such as being a Democratic politician. The quantitative words I chose for him was visionary, visualizing the future, orator, a person who gives a formal speech, bureaucrat, a civil servant, and atonement, reparation for the wrong. The qualitative words I chose for him was astute, to assess situations, tenacious, to never give up, ardent, to express zealous support, and precursor, one who precedes in rank. On the right side of him, we have two monuments that I felt best represent him. At the top, we have the Azadi Tower, made in Tehran, Iran, by architect Hossein Amat. It is a symbol of novelty and cultural history and freedom. At the bottom, we have the National Holocaust Monument, made in Ottawa, Canada, by architect Daniel Lipskin. It was made for helping leaders and citizens who've encountered hatred, genocide, and human indignity. This is the sacred space I found called the Bojes Chapel, made in South Africa by Kotsi Stein. We use this sacred space for inspiration for our sacred space to be able to be made. This now takes me to my sacred space called the Enlightenment Center. The concept words for it are spiritual guidance and Black history. The concept statement is God never intended for us to be enslaved by anything, by Bishop T.D. Jakes. The site context. The site is on a land of Prairie View, Texas, in the USA. It is in a rural area with hot summers and short, cold, wet winters. To get to this site, you would have to take back roads or take the main road that goes around PVAMU or Prairie View A&M University, and it will lead you to the site that is kind of in the back of the area. The floor plan has spaces within spaces. The buildings are adjacent to one another, relating to axis and centralized organization. The oak tree, placed in the middle, is a dominant center and is placed as the axis. This is where all the pathways meet. The sacred space has public and private areas. The main building is 4,821 square feet with a height of 20 square feet. The left building is 3,671 square feet with a height of 16 square feet. And the right building has 3,312 square feet with a height of 12 square feet. I wanted to show transformation with the different heights of each building. The building itself is defined by 37 planes, 16 lines, and 4 points. There are bodies of water in the front, back, and the center of the building. The water is functional for heat control in this back area. The water in the middle represents the axis. God is represented as a central figure. Here are our elevations. Here is the west elevation of the building. This basically shows the back side of the open canopy. Here is the east elevation of our building. This shows the open side of the canopy with the buildings at its contrasting levels. And here's the south elevation. It also shows its contrasting levels. Here are our sections. This is split at the top through a vertical cut, and this is split at the bottom through a horizontal cut. Now our building circulations. There are two direct ceremonial approaches that lead from the parking lot, right here for handicap, and right here to go around to look at the monument. Also to go around leading through purple trees, which represent the 8 men who started at Prairie View A&M in 1876. The middle pathway leads to the reflection pool. There is a water circulation around the oak tree. And for the 8 trees that is along this pathway, I wanted to show a vegetated gateway, just like my president research as the Bojas Chapel. Here is a up-close picture or view of the middle. Like I said, there are 3 pathways that lead to the center, which is the oak tree as the axis, or the representation of God being a central figure. The form of my building has a centralized organization with the buildings surrounding the oak tree and the oak tree being the centralized figure. The form of the building has a simple curvilinear geometry, but is also subtractive to add the pathways through the building. John 14, verse 6, Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. It is metaphorical by the 3 separate buildings representing the way, truth, and life, which apply to the Father God, the axis. The building is based off a grid system to have an area surrounded by trees. The structural system supported mostly by cladding and stucco material. The color palette for the exterior and interior spaces are neutral and custom colors, and the warm colors are for the monuments, such as the oak tree, giving off a green color, and for the monument that's in the front, giving off purple and gold for PVAMU's colors. I used a cool color base, such as white and light gray, for functional reasons, like stability, hence the cladding material and stucco material, and also the polished concrete that you walk along the pathway is reflective to highlight the warm colors of the monuments. There is direct natural sunlight. If we go back here, there is direct natural sunlight coming through this window when the sun rises from the east and it's in the middle. There will be sunlight that points through here, and that is that direct natural sunlight. Here is the interior, and I use indirect artificial lighting. I wanted the lighting to emphasize the speaker's presence when upon the stage, being as a centralized figure throughout my whole presentation. Thank you so much for listening.